Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a classic Victoria sponge. So the sponge that we're going to be making today is a Genoise sponge, which is a really nice light whipped sponge. So starting off with some eggs, so I've got quite a lot here because I'm making a big cake, but I will leave you all the details of the recipes for each different tin size in the description box below. So adding our eggs and our sugar into our stand mixer, and then we're going to whip those on medium-high speed for about 5 or 6 minutes, and you want them to go really light and pale and fluffy. It'll take a while, and you want to keep whipping that until you can use the whisk and draw a figure of 8 which will hold before it sinks back in. So once you've got to that stage, you can take it off your mixer and we're going to sieve in the flour. Now I'm doing this from a height because we want to keep in all that air. If you just dump it in quickly, it's going to knock out a lot of the air, and sieving it will incorporate air into the flour as well. Then we're going to use your spatula or a large metal spoon, and you're going to gently fold that through. So you're going right down to the bottom and coming up to the top, being careful not to knock out all that air. Once your flour has nearly been folded through completely, we can add in our melted butter. And the melted butter just keeps the cake nice and moist, and it keeps it fresher for longer. To fold, we're going to go right down to the bottom and then come up to the top, folding it over. You want to be really careful that you get all those pockets of flour folded in completely, because you'll always find little pockets. You're then going to divide that evenly between your two tins. And if you've got any few pockets of flour, you can just take your spatula and just give it a quick stir in the tin, that doesn't matter. Then they're going to bake at 180 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. Halfway through, you're going to want to change them over so that they bake evenly. And you know they're cooked when they're light golden on top. You can touch the top and it'll spring back, and a toothpick or a skewer inserted in will come out clean. To take them out of their tin, I'm using a small offset spatula, and I'm going to run that around the edges of the tin. And then I've got like a flat bottom of a quiche tin, and I'm going to place it on top and flip the whole thing over. I'm going to take the tin and the parchment paper off and then flip it onto a wire rack. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to get those wire rack lines in my cake, because it's going to be a naked exposed cake. Do exactly the same step with your other cake, and then you want to leave them to cool completely, and that'll take about half an hour. So on the inside of our cake, we're going to add some whipped cream, but we're going to need to stabilize it. So I'm going to take some leaf gelatin, and you're going to soak that in a bowl of cold water for about 5 or 10 minutes until it's gone really like soft and floppy. Once that has gone soft and floppy, we can take it out into a bowl and add a little bit of your cream. You're going to just give that stir through so it's coated, and then you're going to pop that into the microwave for about a minute until it's melted completely. Meanwhile, we can take the rest of our cream and we can put that into a larger bowl, and we can whip it with electric beaters until we get these sort of really soft peaks. Not even really peaks at all, to be fair, just so it's lightly whipped. And then we're going to add that into our smaller bowl of cream and fold that through. The reason we do this is the gelatin is going to set the cream, so it's not going to all splodge out, and we add it in slowly so the gelatin doesn't set instantly when you add it to the cream. Whip the rest of your cream to pretty much stiff peaks, and then we're going to add in the smaller bowl of cream into the larger bowl of cream. This is a bit of a faff and it is kind of optional, but I would really recommend it because it just makes sure the whole cake is going to hold together much better. So we're going to spoon that cream into a piping bag with a round nozzle on the end, and we're going to put a little bit on the cake board and then our first layer of cake. Follow that with some jam of your choice. You can use raspberry, strawberry, apricot. You can go with like lemon curd or something if you want. Spread that out to the edge, and you want to make sure that it's poking through the edge so everyone can see it, because it always looks good. Then I'm going to take the cream and I'm just going to pipe little blobs around the edge of the cake, and you want to take your time doing these because this is what people are going to see from the outside, so make sure they look really neat and perfect, and make sure they're all identical. Once you've gone all the way around the outside, you can go into the middle and just fill it in with cream. You don't have to pipe the cream if you don't want to. You can just spread it out if you've not got a piping bag, and it'll look brilliant either way. Add on your next layer of cake and make sure that it is centered. I'm going to add a little splodge of cream on the top and just spread that out. And then I'm going to add some fresh fruit. So I'm adding some strawberries and also a few blueberries. You can add whatever you want on top, some raspberries if you want, any fresh fruit. And you don't even have to do this step if you've not got any. It just really makes it look really nice. And of course, the finishing touch is a dusting of icing sugar. And that is literally it. That is a Victoria sponge made using a Genoise sponge. I think it's a Genoise sponge. I might need to check that I'm actually saying that right. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have loved this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and leave me a comment below what you'd like to see me make in the future. You can subscribe by clicking here, and you can click here to see my last video, and here to see a video randomly selected by YouTube for you. it.